two you don't realize. You're two like the foremost. Only for coming above it.
היית אתמול בקרנות?
Yeah.
Ray Belmont learned with me, and I was too fat.
Yeah. Where did he learn with you?
You want to? לא היה זמן, לא שנה. But that was 12 months. I was genius. Falcon.
Yeah.
יפה, הרב עמר דיבר, היית שם? יפה. היית בשבת? אבא, you want some chulos? Preparing for Shabbat?
It's not Thursday yet. What's the child doing?
If you bring it, or just use it for tomorrow night. Just leave it over there because for tomorrow.
How are you? How are you?
It's in the oven, so it's finished. What else?
You don't want. I don't want. You don't want.
Tell me, your parents are going to FFH again? Yeah.
Yes, seltzer's good. Yeah.
Your parents are going to FFH?
Yeah.
I can't afford it anymore. It became so expensive.
Yeah, you're not going this year?
No, I can't. I didn't go last year either. It's too expensive. I'd rather stay.
Maybe goes to the laborers in East Greenbush.
I'm going to my daughter.
Going to your daughter?
Yeah. She's on a barbecue.
That's definitely cheaper.
I'm buying the food. I told them getting the food. The eggs especially. How are we going to survive with such expensive eggs?
What are we going to do with the eggs for the Kaira, Pesach?
We'll have to pay $7 a dozen or whatever it costs.
It'll be an expensive Kaira.
But the eggs, not as expensive as the matzah.
We have to start growing chickens here in the backyard of the shul.
Yeah. We have enough problems with the Shiva Flatbush. We're going to have now with chicken.
Rabbi say Hilchos Shema. Hilchos Shema, Simin Ayin Hey.
What page?
Page. And you know what?
Page.
Actually, it's page Reish Mem Zayin. Simin Ayin Dalet.
It's a remez, the Krias.
Remez. Oh, very good. Page Remez, Reish Mem Zayin. Simin Ayin Dalet Shalei Levarek Shevarav Royim Es Ha'erva Boi Zayin Sifim. Kosa B'Torah V'Shavta V'Chisisa. Shem Elikecha Mishalich B'Kerev Machanecha. V'Hoye Machanecha Kodesh. V'lo Yira B'Cha Ervas Davar. Mikan Lomdu Chachamim. Shechol Makim Hashem Elokeinu Mishalich Imanu. What does that mean? When is we with Hashem? Anisha Oiskim B'Kriyas Shema B'Tfilah B'Divrei Torah. Tarich Liyas HaMachne Kodesh. Shaloi Tehei Tsoya Megulasham. Number one, there should not be any tsoya. Vir. Well, Shaloi Yira Hashem Banu Ervas Davar. Hainu Shaloi Yira Dvar Erva. Kenege Panash Adam. Haktoide Im Ispalol. Kimaloi Einov. A person should not see erva, something which halachically has the status of nakedness, of erva. When you're davening, or you're saying Krias Shema, the place where you are, machanecha, is right in front of you. Tzarech sheyeh machane zeh kodesh, so v'yireh by Hashem, ervas davar. Hashem should not see by you an ervas davar. Isur zeh min haTorah. It's masha from the Gemara and the Poskim that this limud in the pasuk is a limud min haTorah. It's not an esmachta. This is the pshat, the masoira, what the pshat in the pasuk is. That you cannot say Krias Shema or Davin when you have tsoya or erva in front of you. V'chachamim hisifu, the last line. Shemakoyim Hashem shoyichem eber kebeinu. The place is Hashem rests amongst us, which is our head and our heart. According to Mispal Tzarech Gamkein. So Gamkein Shleiyu Roya Besarva. You shouldn't have your head and your heart together with the erba. Shouldn't be underneath the same cover without any chatzitza. Really, you're covered. In such a case, you're covered, let's say, under a blanket. Right? So you don't see, your eyes don't see any erva. You can't see your erva. So minat Torah there's no problem. It's v'hoye machanecha kodesh. Our chachamar amoisif hayois that your lave is underneath the same blanket, the same clothing as the erva. So liboy roya as the erva. That's a problem. The him haye yashin orum miskas betalisei. A person was sleeping naked, and he covered his talus. Even though he stuck his head outside the talus, his head should not be underneath, together with the erva. So he's going to say Krias Shema, let's say, outside of the blanket. He should put the talus on the heart to be mafsik from his heart to the erva. Shalibi royes the erva also. Who had the liberais ervas chaveiroi? Shehen hefsik bein liber the ervas chaveirin shekegoin sheshneim sheichem arum miskas dal sechem mirchoikin zemizeh shemisar megel shepneihem zekenegezeh. It's also a problem. Very interesting. Over here you have a case, two people are both naked under one blanket, even though they're not right next to each other. It's a long blanket, one on one end, one on the other end. You don't see him because he's covered in the blanket. He doesn't see you. And you, let's say, are maybe, let's say you're dressed.
They both naked like this.
No, they're both naked. They're both naked.
But they're not face to face.
And let's say you cover your lave. It's not going to be enough. Because your erva, no, I'm sorry. Even if your erva is covered, even if your erva is covered, but your heart sees an erva.
Right.
Not only your eyes see an erva. The chiddush over here is also your lave sees the erva. Meaning, pneim zekeneg zeh. If you're not facing each other, it's not a problem.
Right.
If you turn around, it's not a problem. You're facing each other underneath the blanket, even though you don't see it, but your lave sees it.
Far from each other.
It's a problem. Even if someone says, you know what, I'm gonna. Let's say he doesn't have not wearing a blanket. He's walking around, and he put something in between his lave and the erva. He put like a gartel, a belt. So I separated. He covered his heart. His heart now doesn't not see his erva. You still have a problem if your erva is megula, because you see the erva. Now, remember, there's two issues. Minat Torah, you cannot see the erva. Midrabanon, even your heart can't see the erva. So Beis is telling you, even if you cover your heart, you still have to cover your erva, because your head can't see the erva. That's a ism minat Torah. V'imhu megula also likris minat Torah. Afilu michzer panim mena shalai yir'ena. Or she'atzam ein if you close his eyes. Shalai nemar lo yitira ervas davar. Or lo yira b'cha. K'lem yishatei mechusavin shalai tei nira la'achad la'acher ha'oy medetzlei. That you are with the erva. So just because you close your eyes is not going to help you. Someone is house naked, and he's in the bathroom, let's say, and he realizes it's man Krias Shema. So he's taking a shower, So he doesn't have anything right there. So he sticks his head outside the window. So I'll say Krias Shema, head outside the window. I don't want to be in the bathroom. So mitzad, the fact that you as long as your erva is megula, it's a problem. Even if you're not seeing it, your head is outside the window.
The house is not there.
It's not. You ever can't be megula. Hashem lo yira b'cha. People should not see. You should not be seen with the erva b'shas kiyushin. You should not be seen with an erva.
Why? Sometimes it's mechusa betalit and sometimes mechusa bebeged. That's the same?
Talis meaning a blanket,
And beged?
jacket, a sweater, that's a
I
bed.
don't know.
It's not a
It's a
blanket.
good diuk.
When you sleep with a talit, meaning with a
Smicha.
kisselib, which means kisselib. You have a blanket in your house. Beged is shuma. You know when they have this problem? When you're on a bus and it's so in the summer, you want to say the battery, you want to do or something. And there are a lot of people in front of you are not seeing it. It's a problem.
So meaning the kud is like this. I want to just make it clear. In the beginning of Aleph, we said when you're saying Kriya Shema, there's an ism in HaTorah that you should see an erva all around you. Over here, we're explaining in Beis, even if you're not seeing an erva, but your erva is megula, and you don't see your erva. Your head is outside the window, or you close your eyes, you turn your head.
Or you live with Hussein.
Yeah, but your erva is megula, min HaTorah problem. So it means there's two nekudas. You can't see an erva, someone else's erva, and your erva can't be megula. You cannot stand before Hashem, megula, and say Shema and Daven.
But if you have underpin,
That's different. That's different. Yeah.
still it doesn't look.
Okay.
in front of
Okay,
the-
but minadin, if you have no choice and it's his man, you have to do it already. So what should you do?
We put film on people in the summer when they wear short pants.
That's a short thing. Underwear. That's short.
Bathing suit, you know, and
Yeah.
you
As a sacred,
Right. There's a shaila what's covered and what's minhadin. We have to know always
not
the,
overtake, yeah, but minadin, you're allowed to.
we always have to know
It's better that you put film.
Iker halacha, the what's extra, Okay. So Aval Ayoshan Oren Bikila Shani Gavayu Tvachim Vahitire Shuchutzala.
It's probably like a certain bed that has like a cover around.
Kilo was, yeah. There was beds, in the olden times, people,
Like a king
especially the more chashuv people,
bed. Like a king bed.
they would sleep in a bed which had like curtains around it.
Yes.
You sometimes go to old houses, you go in historical
They're
houses.
selling it like for the rich.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They're still making it.
It's like a fancy bed.
I'm not sure what the inyan it is, but maybe it make you feel more cozy in there. I don't know, but
They're afraid it will fall down.
No. No, it's malfunction.
yeah, I also think maybe I don't know, maybe just as those days, people were, I don't know what it was, but maybe for the bugs
Oh,
and maybe for different things, like, they weren't. It was harder than to, and also people sometimes they weren't so but everyone had their own bedroom, sleep in the same room.
house.
So the husband and wife needed privacy. So maybe they had like a curtain. I don't know.
Sense.
Anyway, so it had the kilo. Yashin Aram Bekilo. She'ene Gvoyu Tvach. It's not tall. This contraption that's on top of the bed is not high Tvachim, which means it's very short. V'hoitzi Reishei Mechutzala. And he stuck his head outside of the kilo to say Kriya Shema. V'agam Kisa Beged Al Liboy. he also took a baguette and he put it like this on his heart. Megula, the kilo. We look at the kilo as being a talis. Since it's not very large, it's
not a house.
lower than Yutfachim. It's not
It's not
like
a house.
yeah, it's not like a house. It's like that's like a talis. That's like a clothing for
The
you.
talis in the house.
Kivan sheina kilo gavoy Yutfachim. Shame kisei aleha. It's called a kisei. It's not called a house. It's not like you're walking around naked. It's like you have a talis on you. Remember, Yutfachim is very low. This is like Yutfachim. So you have a bed and you have a little, you're like as if you're in a little hut. You're like covered. I'm sorry. Ve'eni doimel abayu shu choylek chiluk l'shus la'atzmai. Choluk l'shus la'atzmai. Kiven she'ever news b'toichei aser.
It's a reshut
By itself.
in the house. The house
The house
is not good.
The house is a problem because it's not. You can't say I'm covered by the walls of the house.
Nice.
But this kilo, that's a small kilo.
It's an own reshut. It's like
It's
a big
not
blanket.
its own rishus.
No, I'm saying it's like a big blanket in our house.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like a big blanket in the house.
That's why
Since it's so
allowed to-
close to you, it's not far from you. The kilo is not Yutfachim. Yutfachim, we know b'chlal, it's just a yachid. It has an union for itself. When something is Yutfachim high, it's just a rabbi. It's a yachid. So when something is small like this looks like just like something covering you.
Yeah.
So in that case, if you stick your head out, it's no problem because you don't see the erva. Your erva is not showing,
It's mechusah.
and then you have something covering your heart. Now he's asking a question of Isaiah, asking why does it say beged not talis? Maybe the reason is like this: if it will be talis, you have an easy way
To cover your heart and the
cover the erva also, because you should cover the heart and the erva. Says no, you don't have a talis, you have a beged on your heart, so it's small. So your erva is still not mechusa, so you stick your head out. Maybe that's pshat. Gimel. What about when you're in the mikveh, in your swimming pool, and someone screams out, Krishma, Zman Krishma, what do you do? Mayim, afilu lehin slulin, even if they're clear water, Chashuvim kisei la'erva, it's considered a kisei. You have to take your head out of the heart, out of the water. Remember, the lave and the reish can't see the erva. So take it out, and only your erva's in there. It's not a problem. The chur in the mayim is dirty. Shein avarim nirim behem mutter likut toicham. Yeshem chshuvim hefs bin the erva, because you can't see. The lave can't see. It's dirty. The lave doesn't see the erva. Shouldn't be a dirty a mikveh that smells, stinks. Which is where we're going to explain later on in Hilchos Tefillah. I think it's Hilchos Tefillah. No, it's still Hilchos Shema. If it's a reich, it has a problem. If this clear water is not in a bathtub, it's clear water on the ground. So if you switch around,
make it dirty.
you can make it dirty. The dirt will rise up, and now Libe will not see the erva. So even if your lev is in the water, you could still read Krias Shema.
What about a few people in the mikveh? Not only him.
All the herbs are megulas.
Yeah, but not clean. I don't know.
1 minute. V'hareichet meinzel m'shebekli she'ef shelo achron v'roitzel lishtais. You want to take a drink of water. Someone is bathing in a pool, and it's in a kli, so there's no dirt, and he wants to drink and make a shahakal. He can't say Hashem's name If liber erba. So what should you do?
Cover your heart with a beged.
Chas beged mamata liboy yivarech. However, Lamaisi doesn't have to do this. This is only when the water is high and it's above your heart, so the heart sees the erva. So then you have to take a towel or something and put it on your heart, a bathing suit, put it in your heart. But if the lave is higher than the water and the erva is in the water, then you can make a shahakol. So someone says, "Here, pass me yamaka, bring me my coke. I want to take I'm thirsty, it's swimming. Say diet coke. It's to know the halachas here. Let's take a drink in the water. Even that Krias Shema.
We don't swim naked in the water at rescue.
Right. It's not a problem. Amol they would do it.
We have a
Amol they do it. We have bathing
right.
suits. Right. True. It's not such a big problem. Avol im kiso biyodei nichoshev kisoi shalev hayad guf echod hein. Vein haguf yochol lachasis atzmoi. If someone covers his hand over his heart, so my heart doesn't see.
Like this.
Yeah, you can do that. It doesn't help because the lave and the yad are both one part of the same guf.
One unit.
You're not blocking it. It's you. V'huadin is a chasas reish biyadav, and a chasha kisui for a yamaka shechavara kach b'gil reish. That doesn't mean that now you can make a bracha without a yamaka because you put your hand on. Because your hand and the head, it's the same body. You didn't cover yourself.
You could cover somebody else and somebody else cover you.
If you take your yarmulke and cover the house.
That's okay. But you're not going to have a yarmulke.
Can have one.
Now, you have another way to do it, but in Dalit he gives another eitzah. If someone hugs his body like this with his hands, Shaf sheyad ene chashuva kisui. Chashuva hafsaka k'shemakomok in lider erva. Legabe
Not mechuse, but it's
hafsaka. There's two different dinim.
Right.
The lave doesn't need to be mechusa. There's nothing wrong with your lave. Your lave is not an erva. Shas abracha and tefillin kishma, your lave shouldn't see the erva. So if you want to do it by covering your heart, it's not going to work because you want midin kisui. We didn't have sukkah in between. Why can't it be sukkah? And by the way, Chassidus brings an example in the Maimer from the Rebbe Rashab that he said in the year Topreish Zayin, V'yadaita Moskva. He's a famous Maimer called V'yadaita Moskva, V'yadaita Yemish Avois L'Vacha. He said this Maimer Moscow, Moskva, in the year Tafresh Nun Zayin, which is like 130 years ago, almost 28 years ago. So this mimer in there he brings out that it says Ki Hashem hu Elikim. Hashem is Elikim. So he explains that Hashem Havaya is Kivavkin and Hashem Elikim are two different shemas of Hashem. And they show on two different ideas. One Avaya shows on Midas Harachamim, and Elikim shows on Midas Hadin. In the language of Chassidus, it's Chesed, Gevura, two different things. So what's Pshat? Hashem hu Elikim, Hashem is Elikim. Hashem is not Elikim, it's two different things. He says Hashem Elikim means it's all from Hashem. Hashem is doing this, and Hashem is doing this. And since it's both Hashem, the midah of Elikim cannot be mastir on the midah of Yudke Vavke because it's both him. And he says examples from this halacha over here that we're learning now, which is really originates regarding Yamaka.
In the Maimer?
Yeah. But it actually comes from the Siman Sadik Aleph, where over there by Yamaka, it says you're covering it's the same din by Erva, by Lave. When you cover your heart on the lave, it's not good as a kisui. As well, if you cover your head, it's not like a yarmulke. Why not? Because it said it's guf echad heim. You can't cover yourself. You can't say, I'm covered. You're not covered, that's you. It's all you. So Elikim cannot cover over Havaya, it's all him. It's his right hand and his left hand. It's all him. This is the one that the Maimer brings an example from this halacha in Shulchan Aruch that ein etzem lechasal etzem. Water cannot cover over water because it's all water. You're going to see water.
What interesting is that when you body in the water, it's a sucker.
For asaka reasons.
A sucker.
That's what he says in Dalit. That to put your hands here, the water to cover, that's fine. Because you don't need kisui over here.
Right.
It's enough. You could do kisui, but not with your hand, you need a beged. Or you could be yoitze midin hafsaka. So Lamaisa, we're holding page Reish Mem Tes. So Lamaisa, we learned over here a few dinim so far. We learned that when you daven or you say Krias Shema, you have to make sure v'lo yira b'chol ervas davar and v'hoye machanecha kodesh. That means you're not allowed min haTorah. You cannot see an erva, something which halachically is considered quote unquote nakedness. Erva, b'shas tefillah or Krias Shema or brachis. It's also min haTorah to see an erva. Now, furthermore, number 2, min haTorah, you also cannot have your own erva revealed, not be covered. Your own erva. A man or a woman, we'll speak out a woman soon, but a man cannot have his erva megula, even if you're not seeing it. We said if you stick your head out of the house, you're naked, you stick your head out of the window.
Or the dog.
And you say Krias Shema outside the window. Yeah, in the dark, you cover your eyes, you close a good hara. It's a problem. I'm not seeing my erva. Yeah, true. But it doesn't say you shouldn't see it. It says lo yera b'cha erva. When you're saying kedusha, when Hashem alekecha mishalech b'machanecha, when Hashem is around, should not be seen by you an erva. You should not be davening to Hashem with your erva revealed, even if you personally don't see it. So there's 2 aspects. You shouldn't see an erva, even if it's someone else's erva, another man or a woman. B'shas, you're davening and saying Krias Shema. And number 2, your erva shouldn't be revealed, regardless whether you see it or not. You should not be seen davening with a erva megul. Then that's min haTorah. The Alter explained to us. He laid down a klarkai. Then there's another din which is midrabanan, that we don't want there are makoimis in a person where he's davening and thinking about Hashem. Where are those places? Which functions in his body, which limbs is he using to relate to Hashem when he's davening, saying Krias Shema? It's your heart and your mind. Your heart and your mind. So, your heart and your mind are the makim where your thoughts and your feelings are, b'shas davening. Midrabanan, your heart and your mind should not see an erva. Even if you don't see the erva, they shouldn't see an erva. So therefore, it means like this. Let's say you are under a blanket and you're not dressed, and your head is stuck out of the blanket. You could say, what's the problem? Let me say Krias Shema like this. I don't see my erva. No one can see my erva. I don't see anyone else's erva. There's a third din, midrabanan. Your heart is underneath the erva. The heart is also where you're thinking about Hashem, b'shas Krias Shema and davening. Your heart is underneath the blanket in the same location as the erva can't see it. You have to take the blanket and push it in between you, or cover the heart, or put something in between to separate between. So
if it's one blanket, but you just put it flush against you fully, then
also good. Yeah.
better.
So either you could you have 2 options, we're saying. Either you could do a kiss, so you cover your heart, and automatically your heart doesn't see your erva, and your head will be outside the blanket, so they both are non-issue. Or if you not covering the heart, you could just separate the heart There's something in between, and now we're learning in Sifdal, you can even go like this with your arms in between. You're ever seen. So we're talking about a case where you're in a pool. If you're in a pool, we said, even if the water is clear, it's not a problem for both aspects. Water, even clear water, is considered a kisui, a covering, which covering on your erva will help for two aspects. For the minat Torah, that you're not allowed to say Krias Shema or a bracha, like we're talking about taking a drink. He wants to take a drink from the water. Thirsty. Now no one's going to drink from pool water, but then they would drink from the water. So you have two problems. Your erva is revealed, and your heart sees your erva. So there's two ways to deal with that. We have one way to deal with both. The halacha is water is considered a covering. It's like a blanket, even though it's see-through. Even though it's see-through, it's considered a kisui. However, good raya, very good. Good fapping. Good remez.
But we don't learn.
But if your heart, the water is over your heart, you have a problem. Because then your heart is in the same mokum as the... So you have to stick your heart, go higher in the water, or put something in the water on top of your heart, or in between your heart and the erva.
Question is,
So he says over here, if you want to say a bracha shahakol in the water, you're in the water, and there's no dirt. You can't make the water dirty with your feet and make it little murky that you can't see through. You have a problem if your lave is in the water. So someone's in the mikveh and he says, someone says Krias Shema, what should he do? He can grab a towel from the side, like someone could throw him a towel, he could put it on his head and say Krias Shema. But if his heart is underneath the water, he's going to have a problem. Leave it as ever. So if it's a dirty mikveh, no problem. The lave can't see the erva. If it's a clear mikveh, it's a problem. So he has to go to he has to lift himself up, that his lave is out of the water, his erva is in the water, even though it's visible, water is considered like a blanket, a see-through blanket, a kisui, and he can say Krias Shema right there. Obviously, it's not the best option, but what do you do when it's man Krias Shema? So we have to have like a little settle by the mikveh of all the halachas. If you get caught in saying Krias Shema, what should you do?
Only the lab is want to see the erva. How about the mouth?
Also, the roish and
Because it said
the roish and the lave.
זה בחנה, רק קולה אישה. לא, רק שפתיה נאות וקולה לא יישמע. Everything was from the mouth. By how? So it has to be covered the mouth too.
Yeah, the roish,
The rosh, yeah.
the roish and the lave.
Okay.
But the roish is
possible.
easier. You stick it out above. It's always above the water, outside the blanket. What's more common is that the lave is going to see the erva.
Mm-hmm.
So there you need to. And by the way, when people are wearing a robe, if they're not tying the robe around them, can have the same problem. The robe can serve as a cover, min haTorah, you don't see your erva. Even your erva is not being shown. So min haTorah is no problem. However, you have the midrabanan problem that your lave and the erva in the same spot, so you have to tie the belt, the rope, what's it called, the little tie around your robe.
Nobody going with open.
But the lady, some people the ladies wear, other people they wear these long,
loose
gowns, and
Everything open.
those days, Bechlau was very common that they didn't have the kinds of a shirt and pants as much. It's more of a, I don't know exactly what point in history they went over to pants. The pants is more a recent quote unquote dress code. They didn't. They were reading it now, or they didn't, right? They're learning about it. So yeah.
Everything, but different style.
Let's see Sifhei. Yesh oimrim sedadi vazagin. Ladies don't have this problem, even if they're wearing a chaluk, a robe that's a gown that's totally straight down. And by the way, remember, they did not wear undergarments those days. we don't have this problem when we're outside the water. People are always wearing undergarments. Those that didn't have the concept of underwear. They're not mafsik when they wear these chalukah. Since when the woman stands up, the erva is not visible. It's on the bottom. So their lave never sees the erva. So the shita holds it doesn't apply, it's not applicable to women when they're standing. If they're standing naked, even sharvasa megula v'nidis lachedim also mishum yirachos davar v'gomer. We have another eina chanami that we don't consider lave reis erva, but I have another problem, the min hatayra problem, that their erva cannot be seen, so it has to always be covered. That's a separate din. It's a din that an erva can never be revealed. When you're saying Kriyashma, you cannot see someone else's erva, and your erva has to be covered, regardless whether you physically see it or not. You cannot be standing before Hashem with your erva revealed. So mitzad the din, if they're covered with a chaluk, they don't have the problem of that. I liberate erva. The shita holds women don't have the problem liberate erva when they're standing. V'im sheves, if she is sitting, she'ol zein penashamat nidis. When she sits, then it's covered. It's not a problem. It's not a problem even though she's naked.
The woman always has mechitza between her heart. She has the shadayim. It's a mechitza in the erva. It's not mechitza.
What's the mechitza?
Her breast. The heart is here, and her breast is here. It's a mechitza for the erva.
The breast is on top of the heart.
Yeah. No, the heart. No, the breast is in the bottom.
Lower.
No. So the heart doesn't sit there in the erva.
But there's nothing in between. Nothing which is not body. Because your body cannot cover. Ein haguf ma'chasa al haguf.
Same body, yeah.
Same body. It's a good shayla. Now, what's he saying in this last din?
You know, the shit.
Mm.
That's how they make a book and a mikveh.
How to make the bracha and the mikveh?
Even a man can make a bracha on the mikveh.
Can I make a bracha?
The women.
A man also.
We're just reading this din.
It's water.
Arumis, sharvasa megula.
So how you make a bracha when by erva megula? Instant bracha. You just learn
So
it.
the water covered. You said before this.
It's a covering.
Yeah, you
And
know,
then?
you know,
Mikveh, you don't go naked?
yeah, but the water is covered.
Ah,
Mine, my Yamachashim.
You like this fast sukkah?
now, when a woman is sitting, so then her erva is not seen at all, even to other people. So she's allowed to make a bracha even though she's fully naked, because her erva is not seen, and liboy is not royas erva, so both dinim are not applicable to her. But when she's standing, it's different. When she's standing, liboy royas erva don't have a problem because it's so much lower down, the lady doesn't see it. However, other people could see it. So even though there's no physically someone there, but the concept that it's revealed, there's a problem of erva being revealed. So she can't say Krias that did. But if she's sitting, min hadin, a lady is sitting down on the ground, she can say the erva is not magula. No one could see if there was someone there, and her lave can't see the erva. There's no problem with her saying, and she doesn't have to wear a yarmulke, so there she's good to go. A pure halacha, straight halacha, there's no issue. Vav. Shar evarim roim erva mutter. Any other evarim see the erva, it's okay. It's only the lave and the rosh which is the problem. Also the case of the spalo. However, if your evarim are touching the erva or someone else's erva, it's a problem. Seeing the erva, you don't have to be cautious, only the Rosh and the Lev. But touching the erva is a problem. If the thighs that the erva is sitting on is touching the thighs, so lafsika mebeged, or lachikim is spread apart your thighs, lachikim means shaliyiga hagid bahen. The bris shouldn't touch the thighs. Abel bekis ein lochash in the geben shli also vanagim be'ervase al gzeida shim atu yodein agas be'ervase shil avi yavode here. The bekis shim lochash shim hitter after in the gas by ein ligs v'mishim erva. If the kiss means the beitzim underneath the gid, we're not worried because the whole reason we're worried why the erva shouldn't touch is because maybe you'll touch with your hand the erva, and then you'll hear her bad thoughts, shavazara. So therefore, we don't allow even your thighs to touch. For the kiss has no problem here. It's not a makom of here. Afam hoisin agas by ein ligzer by mishmevara v'rei mitzerva afa pi shihu erva gemura l'in shemu gulas likis kerenu shalei yirah Mitzad lo yirah b'cha ervas davar. Not only the gid, even the kiss cannot be revealed. I cover my bris, I didn't cover the sack. No, you have to cover everything. Mitzad the din of lo yirah b'cha. Mitzad touching, it's not a problem. The kiss is touching your thighs, but the gid shouldn't touch the thighs. Zayin, you had your talus, meaning your cloak, was tied on your waist, covering from your waist and down. Even though above he's naked, number one, your ervas b'chusa, it's the ikar problem in Torah. Now we're dealing with the Rabban and Liber Erva, Gama Talis Mafsekis Bein Liber Erva. The talus is separating from your left to the heart. Abel hispalol also shechased liboy. Yep. Here we have different thing. Krias Shema is more lenient than tefillah in certain aspects.
Why?
Because tefillah, your mamish talking to Hashem. Krias Shema, you're accepting upon yourself Amach Hashemayim. Tefillah, you're saying Baruch At Hashem. You're talking to the Melech. Krias is you're reconnecting yourself, accepting upon yourself Hashem. You're talking to yourself. Shema Yisrael Yid Herzu. There's an Eibush in the world. Remember, accept His Torah and His mitzvahs. Alavav Tabachol Meidecha. B'Shach V'Kamecha B'Lechtecha. You're connecting yourself to Hashem, making that. But now L'Noicha. You're talking Mamash Hashem by Tefillah. He says by Krias Shema, by Tefillah, Krias Shema, it's not a problem if you do that. You cover waist below, you're good to go. Tefillah, you also have to cover your heart. Should tefillah tzichelidus atzmik omen for melech medaber imoy. Should sorich lamed be'ema. Krias Shema eini medaber im hamelech. It's a different madrig, and that's why we call davening the ultimate is Shemon Esrei. Even though Krias Shema is minat Torah, ultimate Shemon Esrei, because Shemon Esrei, I'm talking to the melech. So we talk about malachim. Malachim all good and fine. But then you're talking to the Melech, it's already another level.
Just the heart, or
Minadin.
or really would be more sneers where the elbow is the shoulder,
No, we said before, the heart is connected to the.
No, yeah.
We said before, the
I
heart is
understand
connected
that.
to this.
But like
Same thing.
You want to put on somebody that doesn't have, he's doing one of the shorts. You could. Shorts, no problem. No problem.
Really?
He has nothing, no other shirt, no shirt.
Tank top or whatever. Someone's wearing something, a sleeveless undershirt.
No, even if you, no, nothing. Just, if there's a.
Cover the
short-
elbow.
Oh, right.
Nothing.
Right, but for tefillah, no, I'm asking for Shemon Esrei.
He's not,
Last thing.
For Shemon Esrei, though,
he must have something covered.
the heart,
Yes.
does he have to have can he have like a sleeveless undershirt?
Yeah, good
That's
question.
fine.
Yeah. That's what it seems from
The
here.
was opposite. The house.
Right,
It's not covered, but it's living with
right, but we're not here to go to be more covered.
the homework. But
By the way, I'm looking now on Hilchos Tefillah. It's a good question. Sim Sadagav said right in the beginning
Mhm.
that you have to have ervasim mechusa Lo Yehi Libre Sa'erva, which is all like Krias Shema. And then he adds that also Lispalos till Yichasas Libre. Mitam, that was explained in our Sim in Ayin Dalid. And Ayin Dalid is where he explains the reason for it, that Imadaber Mamelech. Lamaisi says if you didn't do it, or you had a oinis, you had nothing to cover yourself, as long as your erva is covered, you're yoytze davening. Then you also have to have a yarmulke. When you're saying Hashem's name, there's an isser not to wear a yarmulke. You see the Svardim, a lot of that, some of them, they're makel when they're walking around.
Gotcha.
But davening and saying a bracha, that's a
Always.
isser. They always pull out the yarmulke because it's that. There's no question about it. You have to wear. That's an isser. He does say in the Tefillah, if the place where you are is a mokum where you live, you don't stand before big people, chashuv people, without wearing pants, you also should also cover your feet before you stand before so. But if the mashal it says in the middle in the Eretz Ha'erev, it's especially the Eretz Ha'maydev. The Eretz Ha'erev, maybe the Arab lands, I don't know what the lashon here means. Those places they walk around, and they used to walk around.
No socks and no shoes.
No shoes, no socks. So then, even in front of Gedolim, they do that. So there's no issue for you to do that either. Meaning, there are certain things that have to do with the minig hamokim, and certain things that are applicable all over. The fact that you have to cover your heart is a din. It's muskim everywhere. Other pratim depend on the minig in that mokim, how it is to stand. L'maisa, the Rebbe says, in our mokim, no one goes without socks. No one was going to go without socks to talk to anyone. And interesting, though, the Rebbe said you should not daven with gloves. Not at the derech that you, the derech when you're traveling, but not when you greet someone, you don't have gloves.
Even today, if you say hi to someone, he has a glove, you
Take it off.
pick up the glove and you say hi. You
Usually.
look at him. You do it a lot of times.
If I'm outside in the winter and it's freezing,
It's a respect.
I don't take off.
So Lamaisa, this that we do,
That's mine.
Yeah, now it's like this.
In this day and age with COVID and everyone, you do like this.
No CD,
Yeah.
and you keep it on.
Exactly. Right, you do with the hand like this. Exactly. That's the new law.
so these, it's a good point that you're bringing. So Lamaisa, these extra things are not the same level. They don't have the same level of, they're not usher in the manner that liboy roya, that liboy magula. Liboy magula is everywhere, has to be covered. Gabi, the other pratim that has to do with the minig, the way you stand before Gedolim, you're not supposed to daven this way. Lamaisa, if you had no choice, it seems like you would be yoytze, that would be okay. And if Adra, not only that, even liboy would be magula by tefillah. It would be Lamaisa, we would be makel b'di'evet. If you had nothing to cover your lave and your daven. For Krias Shema, it's from the waist and down that has to be as an issue.
Guy that's in his bathrobe and he has a gargle. The parents are there today wear underwear when you're davening. But this guy's coming out of the mikveh, he's wrapped around, he wants to make some Krias Shema. And
So
he wouldn't
he's not wearing underwear.
Right.
He has a belt.
So he has a belt. It's not a problem.
As long as
So mitzad without the belt, it could be not a problem because the erva's mechusa. But you could have a problem. But libere is erva, so you'd have to chaytzis with the belt. So, or put your hands there if you don't have a belt.
But if the derech has to wear underwear and this guy's not, it doesn't matter.
No, doesn't matter. The mice doesn't matter. So you either have that choice, or if he's in the water itself, the mayim is considered kisu, even if it's smulim.
Right.
But if it's smulim, your lave has to be out.
Right.
If it's achurim, so it depends which mikveh you go to.
Right.
The liboy, if it's achurim, the lave could be even in the water.
Right.
And someone will throw you a towel or a yarmulke or something. It's like a Krias Shema. Now it's not makubal anymore to have a dirty mikveh, but years ago, sure you remember the nice. I'm sure you remember Karistir also, no?
Square shield.
Square, right? I remember Square was from the worst. That was from the worst.
Guys, the nicest mikveh Konais.
Right now, Rapkin made him in because mayor. But
Mikveh is the nicest one, man.
So it was Ipche, it was Mamash's Hapcha. Remember that place? It was like a construction zone inside over there.
the cats roaming around. Like 10 cats.
There was like barely any light in there, and it was like stones and rocks over there. What was it? It used to be the concept of mikveh was you just went to dip.
Yeah.
It wasn't a shower. Whole nice little shower was very schwach in mikvahs. The whole thing changed today. We're going to the mikvah is like a spa. People come prepared with a bag and they enjoy it. They don't instead of taking showers at home. The men, they don't really take showers. They love it. They go there. It's a hot water, the rain shower. They sit there and they're scrubbing. It's all. And I'm old. There was no such a shower was something you did with Krias once a week at home.
Well, they had a shower in the mikveh.
There was a shower, but very schwach.
Right.
The concept of showers was that you got a little tiny little bar. They would give you a little.
They sliced from a bar of ivory. They
The
sliced.
old
it
man
into
would
20
sit upstairs.
slices. They gave you a little slice.
The old man sitting upstairs would sell you a bar and something. We'll give you the towel. And there's a shvacha maisis, and the mikveh was who knows what. And there was mamish mayim achurin l'chikol hadayis. The shadow was reich ra, because we said earlier, if reich ra, you can't say kriyashma. So if there's a reich ra, you can have another problem with reich ra.
You have to see the mikveh in Northbrook in Chicago for the woman. My daughter was the mikveh lady. She took us around there. It's unbelievable. We spend so much money. All marble, they have 10 rooms, for shower. Before you go to the mikveh, they have a room with mirror, with everything. It's unbelievable. Spend so much money.
The Rebbe
They
Rashab,
wanted the woman to go. So they're drawing them.
the Rebbe Rashab, when he moved from Rostov, he moved from Lubavitch in World War One. So he ran away from the Germans, from the war, and he fled to Rostov. Then the Lubavitch stopped being the seat of Lubavitch Hasidim for 102 years. That was the Makim. So he went to the south, to Rostov, which was close to Ukraine.
More east, yeah.
So he over there, it was a city. And until then, when you're out of the city, they would go, women would go to mikveh in a spring, in water. Over here, there's a city. So he built a rainwater mikveh, make shamim. He didn't have wells over there. You couldn't, in the basement, which they, in recent years, discovered the original mikveh and everything. The story goes that the Rebbe recounted at Fabrengen once that the Rebbe Rashab came to the mikveh and he saw, during the day, he saw there were some ears in the mikveh. So he screamed gave a chelik to the balon, the one who was in charge, because he said women might come and see this and not want to go in the mikveh. So the mikveh has to be very clean. Even for the women, it was not always such nice mikvahs years ago. It was not easy for.
Go to Avenue S, the Syrian mikveh.
But what they used to have years ago, women would have to go in cold water at night. It was really at Alter Rebbe. One of the things that Alter Rebbe prided himself was that he developed a method to make a box to create a mikveh would be warm water, because the spring, the water was always coming cold. There's no way to heat up the spring. Made a box that would not be considered a pi halacha keli, and they would pour into it boil hot water, and pour it into it, so they could be able to be toivel there.
Like jacuzzi.
The kunz was that they should not be able to be a keli, and but this was out. This was not in a proper mokim. It was a very. But now with the men's mikveh, I heard now. Someone was telling me a Muncie in Pomona, the Valdica mikveh there. You have to
Steam.
Yeah, you heard it.
You flew what?
Steam.
It's $25, I think, to come in there or something.
They get a spot.
Every day.
That was in Florida. Also, the Bobbish mikveh there. They made a steam room. They made a whole.
Which where?
In
Broward
County. Huh?
A room.
Yeah.
Switzerland. And you have a dry, you have a wet.
No, this was all wet. It was very nice. I didn't go. This was a rush.
In Russia also.
And it used to be if you took a shower after the mikveh,
Yeah, that's it.
you look like a grabyak.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. No, when you were younger,
And now,
that was a big no-no.
and now, it's okay.
You had to hide if you wanted to go take a
Well,
shower. You had to go hide when no one was looking.
Yeah, because the water was so dirty, you know. And now you can get away with it.
We are 10.
Well, I mean, half the people go straight to the shower right after.
Yeah.
Some people have chlorine issues with skin, by the way. There's some people that have this the chlorine irritates their skin even.
When I went to
That's
Russia,
awesome.
I was there to travel in the Rabbi Russia meeting. The shliach over there, then we were cool. He told me there was a big problem. The hot water, the tank hot water broke, and we need to fix it right away. I was like, how much does it cost? $100. For 100, I said, go fix it.
In Russia, you get to fix it. $100 a new water tank.
I knew what it meant.
Maybe we can get them shipped from Russia to here.
I did it. So tonight you should have hot water. Don't wait. But they gave us permission to table that.
They have nice mikvahs in Flatbush. They have nice mikvahs.
They found out in Lubavitch, in Russia, in a place, a bottle of Benedictine.
Yeah, what is it?
I just said they dug there to build something, and they found it in the ground box, and they opened it. There's a bottle of Benedictine. It's a certain
Benedictine.
Benedictine.
So whiskey.
It's a certain whiskey, Chabad drink, and they found the same bottle that you drink now. Wow.
It's the same company and everything.
Yeah, the label.
But it's 100 years old, 200 years old.
But man, they found it. Some closet somehow in Lubavitch, vegan, and in case of
They
emergency.
have a good chabad. Really aged the mashke. It's worth a lot of money. 100, 200 years
The
old.
point is that in Lubavitch you drink it. That's
No, he was asking, the rabbi here was asking, Flatbush have good mikvahs? Which one's the best one here?
right now. It's 13 and everything.
The one,
They're
the
nice
new
as
one,
well.
the brand new one.
Yeah.
We did about earlier over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each third.
Yes, everything. Volga before.
I remember once going to mikveh here. That was like a few blocks from here, maybe
Yeah, that's it's 16.
15,
Next to
16.
the partner.
But it didn't look anything
Get
special.
it? That's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a lot of years ago.
That's the mikveh that you go
In
with.
fact, my brother had his ufruf here 15 years ago.
Oh, you probably.
This is the mikveh.
I've gone to that. I go to that and I've gone to the one on by beginning of Bay Parkway and Ocean Parkway there.
So now
Well,
I in
that's
East 13, they have it's a Siddush mikveh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fancy, nice
The
mikveh.
guy that built it is a rich man, and he's over there.
Check it out.
What?
So it's
It should. It's right near me.
And
What's
Yeah.
the house called?
What do you have there?
Right.
One buyer, one buyer.
Another name.
Volga
for it?
before.
Yeah.
Close on the side you make another
Tumberchog?
with that shop.
Yeah.
And what about hot cold this or one?
One.
Too hot.
It's Tumberchog.
Two
Called Rabbi
Shabbos
Reuben,
morning.
aka
Oh,
Tumberchog.
Ruben
Two.
Tamashov.
So hot.
Yeah, I go to that mikvah.
Tamashlam.
Very good
Yeah,
mikvah.
what's the name on
Yeah.
there?
Tamashville or
Connected with
Going
Chabad.
7 o'clock.
something else. I forget. With
When I go there.
Yeah.
well, anyhow,
I go in the morning
It's
shop.
good. You don't.
I think
there's no
maybe they just built it like a year or two ago. Before that, there was no mikvah there.
Here you throw partners.
But you know, I realize
I know they're doing major construction there. It was finished like a year ago.
With enough people here in Flatbush going to the mikveh that they have.
because the oil.
I don't know. I don't walk it. So
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining.
Okay, thank you.
Frankel,
Oh, yeah.
Frankel Shul is a
Did he
nice
have a
mikveh.
years ago. Or just
Frankel Shul.
Oh, Frankel.
And,
Frank
and
also has, yeah.
in
How's the
Men-
mikveh by you in Florida?
Rabbi Bucket has a lovely mikveh. By the way, in Mendel Futterfuss's book, he says that in Russia, there was a cold mikveh in the sea, but in the davening, it was very warm. And where there was a warm mikveh, it was cold davening. That was Mendel Futterfuss said that.
Thank you so much. Shikayach.
I called mikveh.
Right.
Good to see everyone.
Likewise, thank you.
All tov.
It's interesting.
Thank you.